I just finished Dexter, and the finale was good.
What's the alternative, Arthur? Leave? Disappear? Fake my own death and start over again?
Now, this is apparently a hot take I've seen on IMDb. I've only heard bad things about. Everyone said Dexter fell off after season 4, but season 5 was actually like really good. It was one of my favorite seasons. And then six wasn't bad, but it was definitely one of the. It's like a bottom 2 season. But yeah, bottom 2 season. And then 7 was really good. It had like a lot of drama, a lot of cool moments. It was tense. And then you have season 8. Now season 8 is just bottom of the barrel dog. And like even the last episode, bro, like there's stuff I don't agree with, right? There's stuff I don't agree with, but the actual, I don't want to talk about the season because it was bad. I don't want to talk about the finale episode because it wasn't amazing. But I want to talk about Dexter's actual conclusion. Now, there's a lot of things in the episode that kind of sits weird with me than some things that I actually really do like. I like the, you know, how you feel how tense it is with the storm and how everyone's everyone's separated. Debra's over here, Hannah's over here. He's trading off Harrison, and Dexter's going off by himself, and you know everyone's kind of separated. There's a big storm coming in, all of that, right? It's not perfect, but I don't think it's bad, and I think having a 4.9 on IMDb was like kind of. I don't know if people just don't like season 8 or if they don't like Debra's death, because I didn't agree with that either. Like for some reason I had to really sit on it and think about it to feel something about Debra's death. I feel like it was so avoidable. I feel like season 1, 2, 3, and 4 Dexter would have never left Debra in that room with that serial killer by herself, even if he tied up. But then at the same time, I don't know, maybe it kind of that whole thing kind of goes against my point about saying he was you know, emotionless in the beginning, then you know, as the series went on, he grew into this person that was capable of feeling, and kind of proved Dr. Vogel and her little whatever she wrote on her computer proved her wrong by saying she said what Dexter has deluded himself into believing he actually cares for this person. But then there's that scene at the end of the show where he's driving into the storm with his boat. Now I have watched the first episode of New Blood so far, and I'm glad I watched it too, because I actually have more to say about this, about the lumberjack scene at the end. So, Debra, okay, she's doing we have all this spirit stuff, you know, the spirit people, how Harry was in the original Dexter saying, oh, Harrison can't come around you, everyone that comes around you dies, Debra, Rita, LaGuardia, hell, even Lundy, if you want to categorize it that way. Not really, but you know, he has a tendency to, I guess, pull people into these bad you know, situations, I guess, into his life pretty much. And I guess that's why we got the scene at the end with him driving into, or the scene at the end with him being the lumberjack or whatever. Now, anyway, what I was saying about his character development, this whole video is going to be so weird because I'm not going to structure. I just want to give my thoughts so I can move on. I've already watched, like, I'm watching Game of Thrones, New Blood, I'm watching Hawkeye, I'm watching so much stuff right now, and I finished this a couple days ago. I want to give my thoughts now before, you know, while it's still kind of fresh. What was I saying? I don't think I'll do many cuts in this video either. Yeah, his character development, man, like he kind of proved Dr. Vogel wrong. He does care. He did grow into this person that's capable of caring. I remember in season 1 and 2, he was always forcing himself, like, Debra, it started off as the cover lifestyle, you know? He needed to have this cover life so that he would be able to live his, you know, his dark passenger, his urges and stuff. He had to have that. But then by the end, you know, despite if you liked Hannah or not, however you want to see it, he did have feelings for Hannah. He cared for Deb. He cares for Harrison. You know, romantically, not romantically, he does care for these people. And I'll say early Dexter maybe wasn't capable of it, or was not as capable, didn't progress. It's not the same Dexter we have at the end, but I just think it's good how it's just the whole thing with him driving into the storm, man. I absolutely love. I just feel like that's the whole self-sacrifice. It's the whole, I have to do this to protect the ones I love. And I feel like if you're an actual cold-blooded psychopath, that wouldn't have happened. That scene wouldn't have happened. Now, here's my gripe with that scene. I feel better that it's connected to New Blood, but here were my thoughts at first, right? Now, let's get into it. Him driving into the whatever, the storm. It wasn't terrible, you know. He knew what he had to do. But I feel a little bit conflicted about, I love his conclusion. This whole video is about how I love his conclusion. The thing that I don't kind of get with the ending is I don't understand why he self-sacrificed. That would have been one thing. Yeah, two. It's like they done two of the same thing. You have two options. You have he self-sacrifices to take himself out of his family's and his loved ones' equation, or he becomes a lumberjack and takes, which is the post kind of credit scene or the main end scene. So instead, he either takes himself away from his family or takes his family away from himself. You had two options. And then getting the boat scene into the water and then doing the lumberjack. I feel like you kind of done both of those. And I feel like only one of those were needed. You didn't need both. I feel like choose one. Don't try to do both. But that's what I thought at first. And now my headcanon is that he wasn't actually trying to unalive himself. He drove into the storm to tear up his boat so that he would be able to go and do the lumberjack kind of style, you know, that life, so he'd be able to have that cover, like you've seen on the iPad or whatever, and then how they were recovering, like, I think it was Batista or somebody, Dexter's boat, what was he doing out there? He's, you know, presumed dead. So at first I was like, they're kind of doing two things at once, but then now my headcanon, you know, subtext, however you want to digest this information. I think he didn't try to unalive himself, or maybe it was a risk he knew he would take. Either way, he wanted to destroy the boat, fake his death so that he could go do the lumberjack lifestyle. That's the way I see it now, which I didn't at first. I had to sit on it. This was like the night, a couple hours after I started thinking about this, but that's the way I see it. So his conclusion is that he went from cold-blooded psychopath to not really, well, is it really cold-blooded if they're like killers and are gonna kill again? Anyway, he just had a lot of development, you know. I don't think season 1 Dexter would have ever done what season 8 Dexter did at all. Now, things I don't like about the episode, obviously, Deb's death felt anticlimactic. The whole season sucked. The finale episode was kind of weird. The antagonist sucked. But the takeaway, the part that I do like, and I'm still reading into this. I just seen that a lot of people hated the Dexter finale, and that has a 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb. I hope it's about all the other factors and not actually about Dexter's conclusion, because I feel like his conclusion is good. I hope this isn't some crazy thing. I don't think like I don't think this is something I'm going to like, oh, read paragraphs about, talk to people, and like actually have my mind change about in the future. 99% of things are, but this I don't see how you could write Dexter's conclusion any other way, except from the fact that he grew and evolved as a person. He cared for these people so deeply that he put them over his urges and over his dark passenger. And I see that as a positive. I see that as a good thing for Dexter. Now, we see in New Blood, moving on to New Blood. I've only seen episode 1. Moving on to New Blood, episode 1. We see it's been 10 years and he hasn't killed or any of that. So, and then, you know, Harrison comes or whatever, but I don't know, man. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, I like it. I don't have too much to say about New Blood yet because I'm only 1 episode in. But I think after watching that first episode, my feelings with the finale are a bit better. I feel more content with it because he's living his own life. He seems to be happy. He doesn't seem depressed or anything. I think he would be happier in another situation. But he did what he did for his family, and he's not living the worst life ever. I don't think that's a terrible thing. You know, I think that's all I have to say, really. Yeah, man, like everyone in his life started dropping like flies. He faked his death to save the rest. And I think Deb was basically the realization there, you know. He knew what happened with Rita, LaGuardia, Dokes, And I think his sister was the line, which that should have been the line. If there was any line to just go ahead and draw the line. Preferably it would have been before Deb, but it's after Deb. And overall, we can see that, if anything, he has saved Harrison. That's the way I interpret it. Otherwise, if he would have kept going, who knows what would have happened. He could have ended up in some bad situation. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. What is this? 11-minute video? Yeah. Okay. So that's gonna be it. This is a great show. I don't know if I'm gonna give it a 10 just because it does have some. It had some boring. Like, I think 6 was a little bit boring. The finale was good, and I think 8 was just bad. I don't like the writing that went behind Harry, kind of retconning Harry's code and all that. Seeing it was given to him by somebody else, I didn't like that. And then Vogel trying to train another Dexter, like, I didn't like that. I like the novelty, the uniqueness of it, you know. I don't think Dexter's somebody that can be replicated, as we've seen actually this season. But anyway, antagonists sucked. 8 was bad. 6 wasn't even terrible. It was just a little bit boring. 6 was a little bit boring. 8 was dog shit. The rest were good. I think 5 was good. I think 7 was good. I think 5 was great, actually. I think Lubin's a very overlooked character, and I think Jordan Chase is a overlooked antagonist. And I don't know who I like more between him and Miguel, to be honest. You know what? Miguel is just like, he got a taste of something, and he was an addict, couldn't give it up. And then Jordan Chase was more like, just evil, man. Just evil, straight up. Yeah. Dexter, can't give it a 10, but oh my god, like, it probably had, like, there are some elements it does get a 10 in, like inner monologue, bro. Like, I don't know if anyone's watching this ever watches anime, but the way people talk in anime, you have a lot of inner monologue in anime, and I don't really see that a whole lot in Western live action television. And to see it in Dexter and see it so prominent and being like one of the main things, like all these spirits, he's talking to himself, I think it was awesome. I think that is I think that element is a 10 out of 10. The inner monologue is fantastic. The way it picks up the beginning, the end of episodes, stuff ties together, episodes beginning to end. Everything he says, amazing, fantastic. Now, Dexter's also really funny. Like, he does stuff sometimes. Oh my god, what was that one guy? The maze villain. There's a clip. It's the maze villain where he like put people in mazes and chased them. I think it was in season 7. And then whenever Dexter finally tied him down he burnt his body, he was going, fuck. And then Dexter just trolling him. And then, oh my god, in New Blood too. The first episode of New Blood, whenever he'd done this first kill, he took that off. He's like, ooh, like, bro, Dexter's like unironic, like unintentionally funny. You know, I'd be laughing at some of these episodes sometimes. Like Miguel, I will fuck you back in ways you can never even imagine. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Miguel? Flag on the play. What are we talking about? It's getting a little weird. Miguel. Is there some kind of like sexual tension I'm not seeing? Like, what is this? Okay. I'm just thinking, I don't really want to cut the video. I want it to be just like me and you right now, you know, one-on-one, just me and you. It's just me and you here. This is a video. Just spilling my thoughts. Yeah. Dexter's just awesome, bro. Like, I think it might be a little bit milked given season 6, and especially given season 8, and given New Blood and Original Sin and There's 4 shows. But the thing is, as long as they're all just a little bit better than season 6, I'm gonna love it. I've heard great things about Resurrection. People say New Blood has a good finale, and I haven't really heard anything about Original Sin, the prequel. But the remaining Dexter content, the 3 shows I have to get through, as long as they're a little bit better than season 6, because season 8 was a low point. Season 6 was kind of boring. If it's a little bit better than season 6, I'm game, and I'm really gonna enjoy it all. So, that's gonna be it for this recap. Recap really quick. Season 8 sucked. Antagonist sucked. The finale episode was kind of mid, but Dexter's conclusion is the takeaway. Dexter's conclusion of how he developed so much and the choices he made at the end, I don't see how that can be a terrible thing. Maybe it maybe they meant, maybe it was better on paper for them, and like, I don't know if they had to rush the episode out, or maybe it was just like a fluke on them. They had all the time in the world. I don't know, but it's a conclusion way better than what I was expecting. And let me know what you guys thought. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. If you did enjoy, make sure to comment, subscribe. If you want to see me talk about New Blood, maybe I could do like episode chats on here, like episode 2 talk about it, episode 3 talk about it, or maybe just after the season of New Blood I'll talk about it. But anyway, if you all did enjoy, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to comment, subscribe. This has been Alekai, and I hope I'm here with another Dexter video soon, because it was cool sitting down here and talking about everything. But I hope you all have a good day or night, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, and peace.